guys, welcome to another episode of the show, Behind the Mic Stand. You know it, you love it, and I'm very happy to see you. My name is Alex Babbitt, I'm your host. Today, we have a fantastic guest. The best way I could describe this person is, how can I say it? They're the Barry White of comedy. You gotta give me a second. I want to think
of this thing is shit.
The smooth jazz of comedy, if you will. Cool, calm, and collective, and one of my favorites around the city. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for the one and only Napoleon Emill, ladies and gentlemen.
That's
Did
right.
I get it right? Come on. My guy. I never say his last name, so I fucked that up.
I love how you're like, what'd you say, Barry White?
Yeah, the Barry White of comedy.
Somebody told me a couple years ago, they were like, you going to put out a comedy album people can fuck to.
It's the smooth voice, bro. You got a deep voice. That's true. You got that whole energy about you, dog. And
I don't know how to be smooth, so it's like the voice definitely does most of the work for me.
Wait, hold on. So do you feel like if you didn't have that voice, you'd be goofy as shit?
Bro, I'd be an incel if I didn't have Sometimes that's the line of defense right there. I'm like, hey, what's up? They're like, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
clearly he gets girls. Literally,
I was saying, pardon me. I just said it with a voice, like, pardon me. They're like, oh, okay. I'm like, I was just trying to get past, but go ahead, give me your number.
I'll take that too. That's so funny. A deep voice can change the game.
Like, excuse me, you better stop. I'm like, oh. I'm just trying to get to the exit.
I'm just polite. I'm not even horny.
I'm not spitting at all.
Nap got no game whatsoever.
Zero.
It's just deep voice, bro. Deep voice and 6'5".
6'3".
6'3". My pops is 6'5", so I just make everybody taller than me. 6'5". Everybody in my family taller than shit, bro. Oh, I'm very salty about it, dog. Here's what. My pops is 6'5", my mom is 5'11", and my pops has a full head of hair at 60, bro. I'm furious.
How did this happen?
I was born a month early. All the hype.
I was born a month early.
I don't think so, bro. I'll be honest. I think you got all your months.
I was born a month early. I had jaundice. I had to stay in the hospital for a couple.
You did?
Yeah.
You had the incubator?
Like, I don't remember, but it's like one of them things where like my mom will tell that to everybody. She was like, this was my smallest baby. I'm like the hugest nigga. So she was like, this was my smallest baby. That's how she set up.
Like your origin story.
Yeah, that's how she talks. She'll say that to everybody. Like, we'll see somebody in the grocery. Like, I'll be home, go out to the grocery store, or we'll be at a restaurant. She'll just start telling the waitress.
She's like, hey, by the way, this was my smallest.
And everybody's like, wow, what do you want?
Yeah, this don't got shit to do with that. And it also makes me think, all right, how many brothers and sisters you got?
I got one brother, I got two sisters, and a stepsister.
Okay, are they all big too? They all like in the 6?
No.
So you're literally the tallest?
Yeah, my little brother might be 6 foot. I think he's about 6 foot.
Like about that? It's disrespectful. Yeah. Everybody in my family tall, bro. I'm the shortest.
So me and you like the opposite.
Yep. You're the tallest. My little cousin is like 6'2". My brother's got short parents. Like, we got different dads, and my brother's 6'2". It's ridiculous. It's embarrassing. Like, can't stand it at all, bro.
That's so difficult.
Well, hold on. Don't give me short dude language. I didn't like that. It must be really hard.
I'm like, that's difficult.
In your position.
That's difficult.
So I'm funny, dog. You gotta counteract some things.
I'll be like, who's bald? Who's bald? Show me somebody.
Yeah, just my brothers. All it is my mom. Every bit
Your
of
brothers are bald?
My brothers are bald.
Okay.
And we're only related by mom. Right?
So it's on the mom's side.
It's my mom. Yeah, it's my mom. My height, my mom.
Okay.
Yep. My dad, charisma.
How tall are you?
I'm 5'11".
So you and your mom are the same height?
Me and my mom are the same height.
Woof.
Yeah.
All right.
Can't intimidate my mom at all.
Nah.
Nope.
She still hit you?
No, but like, only because she getting older, so she's slower, but like not because she don't think she could take me.
You see that swing coming from my mom?
Yeah, that's all it is. I'm like, yeah.
Like this. I'm like, oh, I'm bailing.
I just call my mom bluff. Come on, mom, that ain't you no more.
You had to duck twice. You missed. You're like, oh, wait,
come on, lady.
Still coming.
You don't got this. You don't. You don't want this smoke. It's not because I'm bigger. It's because I'm faster.
She's like, she's still swinging. I'm like, I went to work, came home.
Yeah, like I'm the Flash. Like I'm just looking at, come on, mom. But yeah, bro, it's a different fucking dynamic. So a lot of this show is I get to, one, know my friends, and two, just, you know, give credit where credit is due. You're one of my favorites. One, because you've been funny for a long time.
Thank you, bro.
And two,
you too, bro.
Thank you, pimp.
You remember how we met?
No, actually, no. So put me on.
We were, Wale was shooting a sketch in Bed-Stuy.
Yes.
This was during the, when it was...
Clinton. When she was going against Obama, I think.
No, this is not back. This is like 2015. So this is when Trump was running.
Yes.
So he did like that sketch.
In Brooklyn.
Yeah, Clinton goes to Don was there too.
And what's her name played Clinton?
Christy.
That was Christy?
Mayer. Christy Mayer.
I felt like that was the girl who used to deal with Chris Hamilton.
No, it wasn't her.
You know who I'm talking about, though?
Yeah,
what's her name? Camille.
Yeah,
Wasn't her?
I saw Camille the other day at a party in Brooklyn.
I feel so bad that I blend a lot of whites. I really do.
Feel not even two whites that favor each other.
They don't even look at each other
They don't
at
even
all.
look like each other, not even close.
I feel so bad. Because when I pull up a picture, they don't look nothing alike, dog. But I didn't realize that's where we met.
So Chris, she was playing Clinton.
What were we doing in that sketch?
Honestly, so the night before, I was hanging out with Melissa Diaz, Eagle, Josh Starsky, Jason Scoop. We were micing, and we wound up just kind of kicking it the whole night. We wound up like getting high on some boat. We snuck on some boat off like the west side. Like it was like a restaurant or something we snuck on. We was just on this boat at 3, 4 in the morning. And then eventually, I think, Ben Switzer was with us too. And I think maybe Phil from Chico. Yeah. And we wound up driving down to Coney Island. And I think we were on acid.
That's crazy. This is such an adventure. I think I just came from the crib. Like, I ain't do none of the stuff you talking about.
Well, the thing was, we left Coney Island, and somebody was like, I think Wale's doing something. Like, one person that was with us was supposed to be in that sketch.
Yeah.
I can't remember who, but I just know we all pulled up. It was like, we all in this sketch. We all part of this. And I remember there was a scene where, Christy had got a bag of plantain chips, right? Mm-hmm. And there was a scene where she was walking and Dom was sitting on the steps. And I was like, yo, you know what would be funny if she's like, yo, what's that? And she's like, oh, these are plantation chips.
Yeah, that's so fucked up, man. Because I'm gonna find the footage.
I don't know if that made it to the shit, but I just remember Wale being like, "Oh, that's funny. Let's do a couple takes trying that." These are plantation chips.
Yo, nothing funnier than when you get a white person to do a black led sketch and they gotta do takes. They gotta do takes of some racist ass joke.
That's always my favorite time to fuck around with people, throw some shit, see if how it sounds when they say it. Is this funny? I was like, plantations. I was like, that could be
hilarious.
Plantation. It's fucking. It was just, I don't know. It was my first time kind of being around a sketch. Mm-hmm. I had just started at that time. It might have been summer of 2015. So
when did you start?
In the 14.
Because you're from North Carolina. Did you start in North Carolina?
I was open micing. I had a homie that he owns a skateboard shop out there. Actually, this is just shit.
Come on. I thought that was the because it looked like the NASCAR.
Well, because it's he does a play on different things. So this one's supposed to be a play on the NASCAR logo, but it's the name of his skate shop instead. Mm-hmm. So he was he would drive me out to random mics in South Carolina sometimes.
Was it on some he always supported you? It was yo, you should do it. What was the scenario there?
Well, the thing was, it was a thing that I was kind of talking about and wanting to do discreetly, and he was one of the homies that I knew. And he was just he knew I was leaving, and he was just you need to hit some mics while you're here. You need to get on stage before you leave. Because I was dead set on just bailing and just starting. I knew a lot of people at home, and I was just, I don't know, I had a lot of anxiety about performing in front of my friends. I didn't want to go through growing pains with too much support.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I don't know how that would make me.
That's interesting.
Build my material, you know what I'm saying?
You didn't think you would try that hard if like the whole time people like, we love you.
It's not about like trying hard. I didn't want to bomb in front of friends. I didn't want to be trash. I wanted to like, you know, work on myself without having any of those distractions around. So I had made the plan to like bail. My family's from Brooklyn, so it was like, yeah, that's an easy transition to like get out of Charlotte and go that way. But he was like, yo, man, he was like, it ain't gonna hurt you to get on stage here. He was like, we'll go to, so if you don't want to do it in Charlotte, it's like, I'll drive you out to South Carolina. We can find some down there, which you kind of have to do in Charlotte because at that time, it wasn't like.
These still bad Slava years? Or like there's like one place?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is like 13, 14, back in Charlotte. So I was going out to like Fort Mill, South Carolina, Rock Hill. I was going out to like Columbia, wherever to like jump on, you know, some bullshit ass like coffee house, like some coffee shop, some like. You know
was it one of those spots? Because from Brooklyn, like for me to go to North Carolina or something like that, for me that was considered the road, right? So when I would go. Yeah. I would go to a spot and it'd be an open mic, but it'd be a shit ton of audience.
Well, yeah, that's the thing about like, I feel like outside of New York, outside of LA, you go to like some of these places and like the open mic is also running alongside of their wing night. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, so they
double down.
People are coming out for that, and then they make it a point to stay for the show, and it was like, some of these open mics are pretty like legit. Yeah. Like people will come out. They'll like come out and they'll like come out weekly. You know what I'm saying? They like have their favorites. They're like, you know, they'll be your first fans. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
It's like karaoke night in certain environments where you're like, yo, we actually come for this every week because we work regular ass jobs.
They like, I mean, bro, it was like, remember Mocha's? Like that was there. They had like a wing night there, and that was what we had to fight against.
Or a game. Ain't nothing worse than you doing an open mic and they just got a full-on basketball game playing.
No, I mean, open mic, fucking bro. I've been on shows, but they got a full,
the finals. I
remember doing that spot up that they had in Crown Heights on Franklin.
Was that Stephanie McCrae old spot? That one?
No, not that spot. Harrison Tweed ran into Harrison Tweed and like Rufat used to do I don't know if Rufat was doing a show with I think they were kind of doing the show together, but no, they had a show there, Rufat and Harrison Tweed, and like one night I pull up and it's a good room out there, but it was also, I want to say Golden State was in the finals. So like outside, every time you hear the door swing open, you just hear like
just Curry killing.
Bro, was packing the bar for the game, so you just hear them going off, and it was like, you know, end of the game, so it was a lot of like suspense, and it's like, dog, I was like, this is ridiculous. We here trying to tell jokes, and I feel like I want to be watching the game. I'm like, I don't want to be in here.
When you're on stage, you say shit like, yo, what's happening? Like, let me know.
Like the door, I'm like looking like through the door, like, what the
Call out the plays. This sounds great.
I'm like, oh, his foot was on the line?
That's how I used to feel about Five Spot. Five Spot.
Oh yeah.
Because remember, Five Spot is very like it's a railroad.
That still happened?
I don't know if it still exists now, but I remember back in that time that you're talking about.
Out of all places, I feel like that's a place that could have definitely closed down during the pandemic. Like I felt like they were struggling the whole time. I feel like they were about to close down every time I was there.
Five Spot, I had never seen it packed on like a Friday, and it was a great room. Like they had a stage, they had
it was a good setup. Food. It was a good setup. Yeah, but that bar was not thriving though. I never seen that bar doing what like.
Here's what I never saw the same wait staff. Five Spot always had a new wait staff every week. It'd be a
they
new
also had a different letter as their grade. I was like, all right, this week's is a D. Next.
they never were too arrogant to just make it an A. Like they're like, we wasn't doing that well last week. We'll give us.
Also, man, their food was kind of expensive. I'm like, you can't be out here without having an A and have an expensive menu. Yeah, you got to choose, man. You gonna have a B, C rating. Bring these prices down.
Yeah, humble yourself.
Like, I'm not sure if I want to eat here. How about that? I was like, the fuck?
I remember because that was one of my first stomping grounds.
I was like, why these chicken tenders $13, man? What
For
the
no
fuck?
reason.
There's only 3 of them.
Yeah. And what's fun is I think they got food from the restaurant next to them.
No, I thought it was.
Nah, bro. Like they did, but there's certain food was from the other spot.
I love that.
Yeah.
I do remember that next door.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was a team effort, dog. Like, like I think you can get.
We got us. We gonna help each other out.
Yeah, you could get like mac and cheese from them, but you got wings from the other spot, but it would be on the same menu.
I was just over there recently. I didn't even think to look, see if it was still like operating.
So when first coming to New York, just like wondering, was it easy for you? Because I don't. When did you start like in like life? Did you already have like a full life of experience before you started stand up and shit like that?
I mean, when I moved up here, I was 28. Mm-hmm. So before that, I was electrician. I installed cable. I delivered furniture. I played arena football for a little while.
Oh shit!
So I coached for a little bit. So I did.
Oh, then you had a life.
I did a couple things, man, but I was aimless though. It was like I did the electrical work. I went to school for that. Went up to Job Corps upstate right out of high school. I was kind of an underachiever. I should have like went to college, but I don't know. I was just not. I didn't get into the school I wanted to play ball in, and I was like, being sensitive about it. I was like, fuck, I'm gonna take a year off. And then I wound up going to trade school, and then I was just like, the longer I was out of school, the less it made sense for me to like take on that.
To use that skill.
Because I wasn't sure what I wanted to do in general, so I was like, I don't even know what I would go to. Like what I wanted to go to school for coming out of high school, I wanted to do architecture. Maybe I switched it over thinking like, oh, maybe I'll do like engineering work. And then, which is, I think is a good time to do it is like when you come out of high school, you still got that mentality of like, I'm in school mode. After taking that time off, I started looking at things differently. Like, man, I have this electrician background. I was playing arena. I was doing cable, and I was just kind of like, I don't know, like I'm already out of school, not in school. I've already started accumulating bills and stuff like that. So like to take that step away or to like add that to it, to what everything else I was doing, I was like, I didn't want to do that. I wasn't really happy with the shit I was doing, but I wasn't also like expecting much more from it. Like, to get into this type of thing, like you have to have a little bit of delusion, right?
Yeah. Well, that's what's
it's showbiz, bro.
Yeah.
So like all those years, it wasn't nothing that I was even thought about. Like,
yeah, because you ain't say no art thing, like, oh yeah, I did dance or some shit like, you know what I mean?
Nah,
it was all very, very logical jobs.
Well, I was always an artist though. Like as a kid, I was I would paint, draw, and I would have stuff like put up in like, different like contests in school, like scholastic shits. Always into film. Being that my parents were from New York and I spent a lot of time here in the summer, I remember when I was a kid, my parents got like satellite.
Satellite cable?
Yeah, so like one of the channels was like IFC or like Sundance came with that package at that time, I guess, and a lot of independent movies were filmed in New York, so I would just watch it just kind of on some like, just like, oh man, this reminds me of being like at, Grammy Pop-Pop's crib. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like hanging out with my cousins.
You be reminiscing. You ain't go to porn? You ain't go to the porn channel? You went straight to the, wow, I respect that.
I was just like a kid. I mean, it just like anytime I remember watching a movie that was based in New York, my parents would always just have this like tripped out memory, like, oh, I remember getting in a fight over there, or my first job was around the corner from where this is being shot. Like,
yeah.
So I had that, like,
it reminded you of your family.
Well, yeah, I carried that same energy, and like I would watch these movies, and then I wind up just, I don't know, becoming like immersed in this type of film, like independent film, just kind of like these character driven.
So like what's
dialogue heavy.
What's his name? The guy, it's a whatchamacallit flick. Black director, Spike Lee. Spike Lee joins. Were you like, did you get immersed in some of his work?
I mean, before that point came, like that was one of my favorites. I remember as a child, and like my parents were young parents, and they were new to North Carolina, coming from Brooklyn. So like, my mom, I would just hang out with my mom a lot, and I remember watching like School Days, the old like Spike Lee movie with Lawrence Fishburne and stuff, and I remember watching that and becoming like.
Isn't that the one with Gina when they're like all dancing and shit? Like it's like a musical? Yeah. It's in black and white.
No. That you think about She's Gotta Have It. That was a black and that was his first like picture, I think, like film. Full length one, but Better Day.
School Days.
School Days was the second one. And that one, like, the whole like had that whole MGM energy, just like, everybody performing is like part of the movie. And I just became a fan, and like I love Spike. He's from like where my parents are from. So I was like, early on I was a huge Spike Lee fan. He made a lot of shit in New York. So.
Yeah.
And he made stuff like on the blocks I was hanging out in. like
I know that landmark exactly.
I was like, oh shit.
I peed on that tree. Like
I was like, damn man, I fucking bust my ass biking down that block and fucking my forehead up one summer. Like it's all types of memories like that equate with his film, because he films them like where he grew up. Yeah. And it's just
downtown Brooklyn, that kind of whole Fort Greene area.
Fort Greene, Bed-Stuy, fucking Crown Heights, like movies like what Brooklyn. I remember when I was a kid, I was here one summer and they were actually shooting a Spike Lee movie in the projects where my parents were from, where my grandmother was.
Where they from?
They're from Gowanus. Gowanus Projects, downtown Brooklyn. And they were filming Clockers with Harvey Keitel and like...
I have no idea this movie, but I know it's a good movie.
It's like Harvey Keitel. It's, who's your boy? I'm like blanking on his name. Makai Pfeiffer?
I've also learned through this interview alone, you're really good at names.
Yeah. I try.
That's your superpower, and like, because I feel like I've always respected that of comics or entertainers in general, people who like can remember a name.
Well, yeah, man, especially funny story, bro. So like, Flatbush, right?
Flatbush Misdemeanors, to give context on what he's talking about right now.
Yeah.
You've played multiple characters, I think.
No, just one.
No, so one character in Flatbush, but then you've done Michael Che's show a couple times. Yeah. We'll get into that, but tell your story, my fault.
So, Hassan, who's in Flatbush, he plays Drew. We're talking, like when I'm on set the first season, and I started talking about Clockers being made in Gowanus. He was like, that was actually my first movie. And I'm like, that's insane. Like I was a little kid watching that movie being made. Now here we are on set. And then the stunt coordinator, he was like, he worked in that film years ago. So like, we're like just one of those like, oh shit, bro. Like
the same people.
Yeah, well, and me, this is like my first like TV
your
gig.
First thing, yeah.
Yeah, this is my first TV gig. And like, I know a lot of Hassan's work, like, from The Wire, fucking...
If I'm thinking of the same guy, wasn't Hassan in... Because I was just watching something that I think he was in.
Belly?
Nah, not Belly. It was a black movie. Oh, man, I'm be so tight because I was just watching it. I was like, bam, Top 5. Was he not in Top 5?
Was he in Top 5?
Yes. I was watching Top 5. If this the black dude who plays old girls, like uncle or something, right? That's who you talking about? In Flatbush?
He's the uncle. He was in Top 5.
He was in Top 5 because I saw it and I was like, oh shit. I recognize it. When you watch something over and you recognize all the people? He was in Top 5. I think he played Chris Rock's family. Like when it was like Leslie Jones, Michael Che.
Sherrod was in there too.
Sherrod, no, in the house itself. Sherrod
might have been.
Played like an extra person, but I think this dude, Drew, who plays Drew on the show, he played like Chris Rock's cousin. And he was like, I told him to do stand-up, this, that, and the third, but you recognize his face. He's like, oh, you've been around for... That's
he's been around forever, bro. He was, like I said, he was in Belly. He was in like classic stuff like...
That's crazy.
Like Belly, fucking The Wire, He's been in mad shit, bro. He's like a working, and this was like the first time seeing him like I don't remember from Top 5. Like I saw that movie once, like years ago, but like, you know, I've always seen him in like serious roles. Yeah. So like this is like, you know, a comedy. This is
for him. Is that stepping out of his like wheelhouse? You feel?
I don't know. I mean, from what I've seen, that wasn't necessarily what I've seen him doing prior. But like, he's a funny dude. Yeah. He's funny. He laughs. He's all about the riffing. Cause you know, like on set, there was a lot of us who knew each other. A lot of the stand-ups that were part of the show. Shout out to Kevin Iso, Dan Perlman. They helped get a lot of us, you know, because it was a web series. So once again,
I remember when y'all was first pushing it.
Yeah, so it was a web series, and bro, like, I loved it for it being that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like I was proud of it. Like, glad to have it on my resume as a thing I was a part of. So when it got picked up, that was just like out of nowhere. Like, oh shit, like that's big. And I remember, that happening and thinking like, okay, well now this is a network. You know what I'm saying? And they don't have to bring any of us along.
And they did, pretty much.
They brought a lot of us along. Yeah. They brought a lot of us along.
Even I think Drew Doughty did something.
Drew, who was the original Drew. He was in the first season, and then he's writing on the second season.
That's fantastic. Drew Doughty's a great comic.
He wrote one of the scenes. I don't think that episode is aired yet, but like he wrote a couple of my scenes and like kind of fleshed them out, and
that's fire.
Like hit me up, was like, yo man, we gonna have you doing some shit this year, have you in like this like type of like situational shit, but like it was exciting, man, because we all like known each other. You know what I'm saying? From like open mic into getting booked on shitty bar shows to like now we like, you know, on set. You know
bro, and it's cool because like you're around your friends, and it's just like what you said with old boy. It's such a small circle of people who are gonna be doing it forever. Yeah, like we're all gonna cross paths at one point or another.
Yeah, it's like a lot of times people will always like think, oh, somebody's being fake. They wasn't fucking with me, but then now they fuck with me. They see me go on stage and do well, so now they want to like be all. I'm like, listen, man. I'm like, so many of us start and stop this thing. It's hard to like really fuck with people sometimes, or like once you see somebody do well, that's when you're like, okay, this person's serious. They're serious about it. They're gonna be here for, regardless if they're new or not. It's like they might be a new face, but once you see somebody like go up and like work, you're like, oh, okay,
you do this.
You out there. You're not playing.
We might not cross paths.
So it's like sometimes people would take that like. People not engaging with them is like, nah, man, they just haven't seen you yet, so they don't really know like
where to put you.
It's not always bro. How many times did somebody like came and bent your ear, asked you about comedies, you saw them at the mic, and then you ain't never seen them again after that conversation?
Yo, I was just talking to a comic, and one of the most frustrating things in the world is having comics' names and shit in your head that like stopped.
That don't exist no more?
Yeah, legitimately. That just don't exist.
I got in a conversation the other day about homies that like, you know, I ain't seen since like
the beginning.
Since like 16, 17, like 2016, 2017, who I just like, oh shit. Yeah, I haven't seen that nigga. Yeah. I haven't seen her in a while. Like what happened to people? A lot of people quit in the pandemic, but some people stopped coming around from before the pandemic.
And you just didn't notice because you was hustling and do what you gotta do.
Yeah, man. I mean, you notice to an extent. I always feel like if I'm not seeing somebody, they're tapping away in another sect. Mm-hmm. They're getting booked on different shows, and it's like
I just think you're working.
That's how I assume, and then after a while I realized I haven't seen this person.
I seen a flyer.
Like, I look online, I'm like, dang, posting shit about comedy. Oh, this person quit.
Hey guys, we took a quick commercial break. I'm glad you're always listening and watching. Please subscribe on the audio versions. You can now listen to the episode on Spotify or wherever you listen to music and content and podcasts. We love y'all. Let's get back to this episode. Did you ever think about quitting, bro? Be honest.
Quitting? A lot, bro. Especially in the beginning. Dog, I thought I made a mistake.
I That's wild
like,
funny.
when I moved up here and I was like selling tickets. That's what I did. I sold tickets.
Because that's why I initially remember you from New York Comedy Club.
Yeah. So I was selling tickets for them and I would be out in Times Square. And I moved up December. Like a week after Thanksgiving that year. And I remember just being like, just the worst time, bro. It was freezing out there. Yeah. And I remember 4 or 5 months, and I was just being out there and just freezing like, I fucked up.
This on me.
Like, I fucked up. I don't see myself ever getting out of this situation. I was like, I'm gonna be selling tickets forever. And it's crazy because like all the dudes that was out there selling tickets, working at New York Comedy Club, it was a strong group of people. Like it was me out there, Brendan Sagler worked at the club, Dan Lamort was selling tickets. Usama was working at the club. Matt Richards was out there selling tickets. Like, we were all like,
Phil from Chico, Chike Robinson was working the door.
Yeah, it was. Chike did like a lot of jobs in that place. Like, I went from like working like selling tickets
to the door for a little bit.
Well, yeah, because like after I got passed at the club, I got passed for like late night. I think I was there. Like an incident happened with somebody in the audience, and I was the only person there that had a
intimidating stature.
Just a securities license.
Oh, I didn't know. Here's what I didn't know, because I remember those times. I didn't know you actually had to have a license to do security. So I just thought they like a problem started. They just looked at you and was like, "Nah, do the thing.
Help us. Flare your nostrils up.
Come on, bro.
Flex a little bit.
Whisper something. Stop.
Just go,
Because here's what, bro. All black. If you just say that, people are gonna think you do it.
Dog, it doesn't even matter if I have on all black, bro. I could have on orange. They were like, they just think that they just have a very casual security.
You're just a festive security.
They think like, oh, it's like it's Friday. It's like casual Friday for this one. I could be sitting there with a fucking drink in my hand. They're like, they let you guys drink. I'm like, no, bro, I don't work here. Niggas that start like, I remember I was at this one bar and there was this like drunk older guy. He just like came and started shooting pool, but there was a game happening. Somebody was already in the middle of a game. He just grabbed a stick and started shooting, and everybody's like, "What the fuck?" Dude was like, "No, what are you doing?" And he just swung on the dude.
Oh,
clocked him, and then he went for a second hand and his own one came and he turned and punched that dude. And then everybody in this bar turned and looked at me, and I was just like,
I'm just like, yo.
I was like, yeah, this is interesting. I was like, this is crazy. We all witnessed this. I was like, y'all should hire security. I was like,
I have a license.
Really hire security.
But I'm off the clock.
I was in there fucking like, I don't know, fucking drinking, trying to find drugs. I was like, what?
He's like, why y'all think I'm reliable?
I was like, pardon me.
Thanos, do something, please.
They're like, help them. I was like, nah, I didn't start this.
I held it myself. Well, now that they're gone, can I play? Like,
I was like, as a matter of fact, somebody pay me out to register, I'll stop the fight. Give me $200, I'll stop it.
That's so fucking funny. You just upcharge. That's wild funny. You upcharge.
I just like, no, if you gonna make me stop a fight, you gonna pay me with shift pay.
Yeah, that's a very
moonlighting at security, just like.
But like for hire, like you only do
it's like a very low stakes superhero. I just show up at bars whenever fights. I'm like, hey, that's just.
Y'all need me?
Stop. Cut it. You gotta go, sir. You gotta go. And then I just go to another bar.
You go to every bar with a tab. All right, y'all owe me about $450. What are you talking about?
I just go and stop some shit. I just kick people out the bathroom. Like 2 people in the bathroom at the same time. No. And I just send them an invoice on the bar. Put an invoice
like, oh, y'all don't want to stop this? No problem. Continue, guys.
Not even. I don't ask. I just go and stop and then just leave them an invoice. She's like, here, thank you guys. Let me know if you ever need me to stop it. It's very situational. I have to be in there at the right time. Something you have, because I'm only going to spend 20 minutes there. On one drink, I'm like, if I finish the drink, nothing happens.
So y'all.
A fight starts once I bail, then, you know.
This motherfucker's Batman. Where's he at? We need him.
Like, I'm at the next bar, I'm like, this bar fun. Ain't no fights happening here. Like, everybody here calm. They chilling. Chilling at this bar.
What's up with your establishment? Why everybody want to fight in here? Maybe it's the lights.
I was like, bro, you gotta fix the vibe, bro.
You're a vibe consultant.
Vibe is wrong.
Oh shit, that's funny as fuck, bro. I love that, man.
Vibe consultant.
Vibe consultant. But like, you're the security guard.
I'm like, ooh, this shit off as fuck.
Yo, what's up with this,
Start
man?
fucking saging the corner.
That's why everybody want to fight. The energy in here is bad.
You got spirit, you got ghost in here.
That's why I wanted to go to a bar. So I think y'all niggas got a ghost. I don't know what it is.
I feel like a fight has happened here before. Here, I'm like, you gotta get this energy out, bro.
Spiritual bouncer. You feel the fights of the past.
Sorry, somebody lost their tooth here.
Right here.
I can feel there's a lot of energy. Somebody was upset at this spot right here. All right, look out on the floor, bloodstained.
Your third eye only sees other conflicts. Do argue with his wife right here, bro.
There's a beef about to happen. I can feel it.
Oh, shit. His telekinesis is only for fights. It's almost a spider sense. Like, for bars
I'm just a black mom. We need to go. Pack this shit.
I don't know why. We gotta get out of here.
Go. I don't like the way I got a weird feeling. We gotta get out of here.
And you know what's fun, bro? Like, and this is why I love having comics in this. What we just did, that's like the ultimate comedy super vibe of just like tagging a joke, tagging a building, building.
Going off track.
Yeah.
Just rabbit holing.
But that's one of my favorite things about it is like, when it comes to you being in this game, right? I'll ask 2 questions, 3 actually. 1, what was the hardest thing for you to navigate? And then 2, what is your favorite thing about it?
Navigating in comedy, I think the hardest thing for me
entertainment in its totality.
I think I came into comedy with very basic wants, right? I just really wanted to I thought of myself as a funny person naturally, and I wanted to like build on that and get that to where I wanted on stage. And so I guess I really didn't have a lot of ambition when I started, but to just get funnier, and like stuff kind of just came from that.
So interesting.
What was the question again? What was it exactly?
I'm about to paraphrase now because I made it up. But 1, what was your favorite thing about the game, and what was your hardest thing to navigate?
Okay, so hardest thing to navigate, I think, for the first few years, I was getting booked. I was doing well on shows. I was consistent really early, being a strong comic. But it was hard to navigate, like cool kids sections and like.
That's so odd because you give off out of everybody the most innate and natural cool kid energy.
Well, that's the thing. I'm not in everybody's face, right?
Okay.
Especially in the beginning, and I would hear a lot of people like, have an opinion on a comic who hadn't been doing it for so long. So it was like, all right, I've been doing comedy. At one point, I guess like I was like, I'm 7 months into comedy, and I'm getting booked on a lot of shows, and I would keep that to myself that I would doing it for so long. Another comic told me earlier, he's like, how long you been doing comedy? I was like, about 2 months. He was like, you're funny, don't tell people that.
Yeah.
So I would like, it wasn't necessarily hard, but it was, or a difficult thing to deal with, but like, it was something that I was like, all right, I'll keep this class. And then I think around 2 to 3 years, and once I did March Madness, that's when I was like, okay, fuck it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
How long I've been.
That was like 2018, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, 2018. So I was at that point, I had just hit 3 years.
Really?
Comedy, yeah.
That's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
'Cause I think we did that together.
Yeah. No, you was in the next year.
The next year. Wow, okay. That's what it was.
I was supposed to, you left?
Yeah.
You made it to like the final.
I made it to the finals and I left.
And then
No, you know what happened? To give context, I told a lot of people
you
this.
had a road gig,
I had a college gig.
Yeah.
That was like 2 or 3 G's. And I like legit was like, all right, this is bragging rights, yes, but I have actual bills to pay.
Yeah.
I need this money.
And this is an actual bill they're giving.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where,
it's like, I had to do this a couple years ago. I think my first year I was doing New York Comedy Club, had like a competition. Mm-hmm. And I remember placing in that, and like they had like 2 rounds. I was there for the first round, and I knew that I wouldn't be there for the second round because I was going to be on the road. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, all right, I'll just do this first round.
And then just not be here.
Bro, and I was like, you know, I hadn't even done comedy for a year at that point. So I was just like, all right, they let me do this shit. Let me see if I can. And I remember like placing and being pushed to like the finals, and I was just like, all right, I'm not going to be in town. Like, I didn't think that was going to happen.
Y'all called my bluff.
I was like, oops, I was funny. I'm sorry. I was like, I'm going to be on the road. And I was just like, whatever. Like, I'm going to be on the road. It's kind of a flex. Like, I'm actually doing the thing. Like, and I was on the road, and I remember some people were like, kind of like, oh, man, you should have. I was like,
I got that same thing.
The road?
Yeah.
Like, forfeit that
the true thing of the game?
Like, I was like, it was my first time going to California, bro. I was like, yeah, I'm doing that, bro. I'm telling jokes in San Fran. I'm telling jokes in Oakland real quick.
Yeah.
That was like, you know, an experience, bro. I went to New Orleans for the first time. Like,
that's love.
I had a lot of, I went to Austin, San Antonio. We started in San Fran, drove
Who'd
down.
you tour with? What was the situation?
It was me, Melissa Diaz was there, another comic, Kelly Cry from Canada, Josh Starsky. We were all like, at the time we were all like barking in the Village, you know what I'm saying? We were like open micers at the time, and Kelly had the idea to like go on the road and another homie of his wanted to document it, and then they were like, yo, let's just do a couple of us. And he was like, he kind of selected us to go. And I think they had somebody else going, but then that person last minute did not want to do it for some odd reason.
Yeah.
And they
ain't believe in a graft.
They were like, do you want to do it? I was like, yeah, of course I'll do it. I was like, what? I was like, yeah, I want to go on the road. I was surprised that opportunity was even presenting itself at that point. Mm-hmm. I hadn't been doing comedy for a year yet, so the fact that I was going to go across country, just show at the show for a month straight, I was like, yeah, and I was able to go back home. So I was able to go back home along that tour. We at first wasn't sure where we were gonna, like, how we were gonna do this thing, right? Was places we were gonna hit. We didn't know we were gonna go from like Chicago, what. And then I got so much support in this like project from people from back home. They were like, so many people from Charlotte has donated to the thing, has like
had like a GoFundMe situation.
Yeah, well, we crowdsourced it. You know what I'm saying? We did like GoFundMe, some shit like that, and yeah, so many people from Charlotte did it. So they were like, yeah, we gotta stop through your hometown. Yeah. And I remember hitting up a place called 22. A homegirl Sarah was working there, and she was like, I was like, yo, y'all doing dollar beer night Wednesday, right? That's still a thing. She was like, yeah. I was like, I'm gonna be in Charlotte. Can I do a pop-up show there with like the people I'm on the road? And she was like, of course. Yeah. It was like an easy, like, I like called her. She said yes. We went there, and like this place is like, it's a nice, it's a small gallery, but there were like maybe 200 people in there.
That's fire. That's beautiful.
Yeah, 200 like homies, cats I ain't seen since high school.
Yeah.
They just saw it all because, like, you know, they have like, we had an Instagram account, Twitter account, and you know, a lot of people were following our tour. Yeah. So when we came to Charlotte, that was like, you know, towards the end of it, but they were like, bro, we was watching, we saw you performing in San Antonio, we saw you performing
That's so fire.
In LA, like that shit was insane. Like,
did you not think you were gonna get that reception from your people?
I was nervous. I went on the road, and you know, it was my first time being on the road, so I'm thinking like, all right, I know how New York takes these jokes. I don't know how San Fran will take these jokes. I don't know how fucking, you know, any of these places. St. Louis, Bisbee.
I was just in DC, and like you feel that you like, yes, they're universal.
Early on, you feel that. Yeah. And then after a while, it gets to a place where you're just like, all right, man, I know my joke, I know myself. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, there's always that like inclination, like, all right, what if it don't work here? Yeah. What if I don't set this room off? Like,
you know what I felt being from New York, my speed, I've sometimes had to like consciously adapt. Yes. For real.
I feel like that's always been our critique.
Yeah, bro.
It's like, oh, that was good, man, but slow down.
Yeah.
Because I remember you would go and do like the check spot in New York. You're like, I only got 5 minutes, man. I want it.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, yeah, man. Like, people laughing, man, but it'd be nice if they could hear all the words. I feel like you just run through it and I'd be like, Alex, slow down, bro. Like, this shit is like gold, bro. Like, let them know it's gold. You know what I'm saying? You're like, here, look, boom. And then it'll be like on to another bit.
Yeah. That's always been my critique from other people and for myself that cause what? Dre and the whole team be like, nigga, this is
you never gonna slow down, bro. I think you just that's just kind of how you approach the stage.
Yo.
I feel like you slowed down.
Yes.
But like you talk throughout this, like,
yes.
I mean, I know that's
Cause you saw me fairly recently when I did a spot at Sell It.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's a weird thing to say with stand up, like you're supposed to talk throughout. it's like you just like it's like if you listening to you, right? Yeah. It's like if somebody never met you, never seen you, I'm listening to you tell jokes. It's like, this is a nigga that's supposed to be on stage. This is a nigga that you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, he has full control of the room, of the situation. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? There's not a lot of, like, you keep your stuff, like, your 10-minute set, I feel like, could also be a 20-minute set.
Yes.
That's how I feel.
It is.
Your 10-minute set can be 20-minute set if you choose to make it so.
That's exactly how much.
It's not even about adding words.
No.
It's just like, let me breathe here.
I just gotta exhale.
You gotta exhale.
1000%. Yo, one of my favorite things, that's so accurate. One of my favorite things in the world is like, you know, when I do like a college tour or something like that, right? Well, I gotta do like an hour, 50 minutes, something like that. And I'm like, damn, I ain't got no jokes. That's just what I'm saying in my head. And I like get to the stage and have to do that time. I'm like, oh, I just breathed. I just stopped for a second.
I don't always have little tricks whenever I'm doing the road. I'm doing like a long set. I'm always like at first I was having a tough time because I would feel like, okay, I'm like good for 35, right? But then the next 15 minutes is like, okay, now I'm just giving them jokes that work. Yeah. But it's not really puzzled in with the rest of it.
Yeah. It's not cohesive in any way. Yeah, it's
so
just bits.
I was like, I don't know, I was felt like I was like letting myself down with the shits, and then I did like I had to do a clean hour. It was like a high paying clean hour. And so I was like, I took the job and I was like, I remember I was like, man, fuck working clean. But I was like, all right, that's
some good money. Yeah.
Like, that's a bag. And I went and I worked clean. There was kids there. But I always try to gauge, like, they say clean, but if I see people drinking, right?
I'll ask the audience.
Some people, because sometimes they'll book you and they'll be like, all right, you got to work clean. And the crowd has no idea. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. They were like, what?
Yeah. We don't want that.
They're like, say fuck. I promise I'm gonna laugh. I'm like, all right. But no, but like, so like, I'll try to gauge that. But this place, people were drinking. They were going into an apartment because it was like in a building. But there was also kids there. So I was like, all right. And then I had to learn, some of my jokes are dirty that I didn't even know were dirty, just from wordplay. But after having to do that, surviving that shit, every time I went to do a long set after that was like,
you got into the rhythm of it.
Yeah. Having to work under those guidelines. Yeah. And then having that, like, just, I always feel like that was like a turning point for my like doing long sets. Before that, it was just like, all right, this is good for this amount. And then it's like jokes until I got to get off. After that, I feel, all right, without having that on you, right? That like, can't curse, you can't be dirty, you can't, you know what I'm saying?
You have a freedom.
Exactly. Yeah. So it kind of like, sometimes you need that to kind of realize like, okay, man, I'm going to survive this. Like, I'm not going to die. Like, get up there, bullshit, talk about the room, talk about people, then get into jokes. Like,
that's what
all
helps.
Types of shit like that.
What longest sets for me, what helped me is watching people like Cat Williams, where, when I watched the style decision to like, oh, he just engages for the first 10.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't go straight in the bit.
Norm McDonald was like that. He would just, like, I remember him saying, like, I just talk to the audience until they remind me of a joke. Yeah. You're like, yes.
That's a good one. Thank you for that. Yeah.
Oh, actually, I do have something for that.
Because you know what it is in the city, man, and I don't know if you felt this way, and I'd love to get that, and I'm asked 2 more, and then we kind of wrap, but for a long time, I felt the need to be funny fast. Because you're like, I might not get this. Even if you do get shows
a lot. When you be funny fast, like in general, like when you have a spot, like on stage?
Like when you have a spot on stage, like it took me a long time. I'm getting way better at it now, but at the time of like sitting in that pocket of silence.
Yeah, man, because you don't nobody know you. When you brand new, it's like, all right, you ain't seen me on TV. You don't know me. I'm just a kid coming in front of your face, and you're just like, all right, why are you funny? Why you get to be here?
Yeah.
And I'm not really like, blah, 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 but what I will do is like, I'll throw some quick shit in there up top just to get people on board with my sense of humor.
Yes.
Like, now you see that I'm funny. Now I can like, so I would put things in certain places because I was when I first started, like, I was a little bit long-winded and I had to learn to cut stuff down. But yeah, that shit is just one of those, like, don't nobody know me yet. I need to get this trust from these people.
I gotta earn y'all.
Yeah, because a lot of times they see people they recognize and then, they kill, but it's also like they're familiar with them. So they want to give it up.
Yeah, like Eric Andre's style of comedy probably was crazy at the beginning.
What do you mean?
In regards to like how extreme he could be sometimes, like doing like them antics and shit.
Yeah.
That's gotta be real. There's certain comics I would love to see them early stages of it all. You're like, how did you get to like pulling your dick out?
How do we find yourself here?
Yeah.
Like, what type of shit you was on?
Yeah. And who were you around that always supported? That's the other thing too. I started in hood rooms more. So it's like in hood rooms, even now.
You can't play that shit.
They're like, get to it.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, get to it.
You're upset them.
Yeah, legit be mad.
I think he found a space for him. I feel like Brooklyn was that type of space at that point when he was starting. Very alt scene was rising. Dark corner Brooklyn scenes was like blowing up. So it's like, he had that space to kind of like be that type of person.
Yeah, but black
rooms would not. That would have been tough for him to like get that off. And he's from Florida too.
Yeah.
So he's like,
he's from
he from black people. Like he partially.
He looks like he was inspired by like the Jackass energy of it though. You know what I mean? That he's just like, I see why this is
more like Tom Green.
Yes.
Right.
My bum is on your lips.
But exactly. Just that type of like antics, like that type of like I don't know, just kind of like never let them know your next move energy on stage is like,
which is wild.
Or just not even just on stage, just in general. Like those guys are just kind of like, I don't know, man. They just, it's like they're doing like a social experiment.
See what they can get away with.
Well, they're gonna act up, do all this shit around people, and just it's mainly about people's reactions.
Yeah.
So what they're doing is gonna bomb, right? But we're supposed to watch it and laugh at it. Like that's what's funny. It's like he's gonna go out there and make it. Like he's gonna go and make an ass out of himself on a court full of dudes trying to play basketball. And they're gonna look at the dudes like, what the fuck is wrong with this dude? But like, so in that moment, he's got to sit in that.
Yeah.
But you put it on TV, once you edit it together, I'm watching, I'm like, this is fucking hilarious.
Yeah, because it gets straight to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an interesting thing, man.
Did I answer that other question? I'm still can't remember.
Here's what. My fun part about this whole episode is you keep making me recap some shit that I made up. So I gotta keep.
Like you said, what's like the hardest thing and like the easiest thing to navigate?
So the easiest thing, no, you didn't say the easiest.
I don't think there's nothing easy to navigate.
Or what did you love the most about this game?
The challenge, the freedom, the challenge and freedom, I guess, parts of it is like there's a challenge of like wanting to say something that's going to be funny, but not just be funny, but say something that nobody else is saying. Like hit a certain like chord that nobody else is, you know what I'm saying, plucking at. To me, that's like the fun part, right?
You pride yourself on that? Like uniqueness of your set and stuff like that? Because I can say that about you.
I don't. It's crazy because I never think like, oh, this is unique, but I think like, oh, this is something that I have a problem with, so I want to talk about it. Or it's like, and then it'll just on the other end, people be like, hey man, that shit, I dealt with that same thing, or this is like a problem that I constantly have. So like, me trying to like voice those like I guess complaints, they just hit close to the chest. So people will see them and they'll be like, yeah man, I have a joke about losing a flip flop. And then my insanity being like, oh, maybe I only ever bought one flip flop. As ridiculous as that sounds, it's like, you ever like been looking all over your house for something, looking all over your room, looking in your closet, looking in the bed, like you start looking in places where you know you haven't had it at. And you're just like, did I even buy this motherfucker? Did I ever purchase this? Was it all made up? Was it a dream?
You're in the fucking cabinet in the kitchen.
I don't even have a picture with this shirt on. Did it ever exist? It's like that's the type of shit that'll go through my head, and it's like my attitude in those moments. But like those type of things is like being able to like get that off, watch people laugh at that. Like I love that part. Like,
you come from that vein because I just saw this dude do it. Seinfeld. He does that, and it's that vein of comedy that is so everyday, but the way your take on it is unique as shit. But it's an everyday thing. Yeah. Because Seinfeld, I just saw him at Gotham, man. He did a bit.
Oh, I just heard him at Gotham like a couple nights ago.
Yeah. He did a bit about like being proud to dump trash. Like 15 minutes. Wow, funny. Really funny shit. Whole basic idea.
I remember he did a bit one time years ago about seeing like a piece of hair in the shower, like on the wall. Just like freaking out, like whose hair is that? Like, how did this get here? How long has it been? Like just
what was the navigation?
Like, we've all been in the shower and seen like a hair on the wall. You know what I'm saying? And it's like for him to even take that to the stage. Is like, that's the type of stuff like I like enjoy about like with comedies is like, yeah man, I deal with that every day. I like that's the reaction I want is to be like, oh yeah, that shit is a problem. That's a problem I have. It's like shit like that's like. To me, like hilarious. It's like haggling, like having beef over prices at a store. It's like I remember being in some place and like complaining, like just randomly being like, "Why won't y'all add the taxes to the price? Why can't we see the price is going to be at the checkout right here on the aisle?
Just whatever it is."
I'm like, why's it got to be a surprise at the end? I was like, you can show me $4 here, but it is like $4.40. Say $4.40 here then. Yeah, it's like just shit like that. It's like. Thing that we all see, all knows, but you know, you become so normalized to it. It's like, what's the point of complaining about it? And it's like, well, I found a way to complain about it. I found a way to complain about this shit we don't complain about enough.
Your comedy spirit animal is a black mom. That's what I now know. That's really what
it's a mom who's fed up.
Yeah, you're your mom.
I'm just like, I had it up to here. I'm gonna hit somebody soon.
You're your fucking mom, bro. That's so fun. I've learned this just from this interview alone. I would love to meet your mom and be like, that's fucking Napoleon. That's probably. Is she your comedy influence too?
I mean, yeah, she's like one of the funniest people. Like, her and my grandfather, her dad, two of the funniest people I know, but different types of humor. My grandfather's very like prank, laugh at stuff happening outside, and my mother was the type to like riff a story, make up a story to get me to go to sleep or to get me and my sister to stop fighting. She'll like make up a story real quick about two kids she grew up with that got in a fight and then how their lives turned out. And these kids would never exist. These weren't people that were real, but she would just do these things and to stop us from fighting and then have us like staring at her like waiting for the rest of the story like in suspense, and then next thing you know, we no longer beefing. You know
That's hilarious. These two kids ended up on drugs. Y'all don't want to be like them, blah, 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 blah.
I remember my sister used to always pull my ear. Yeah. That was like a thing she would do. She would just yank my ear. And I remember trying to tell her, and my mom told us about these two kids in the neighborhood, and the girl ripped her brother's ear off, but it got stuck to her hand. So she had an ear in the inside of her hand. This is what she told us. And then she was like, this kid, she was like, she told me he was the first person to get a Jerry curl to cover up that he didn't have a hair. He had a huge afro at the time, and then he had to do that so that people couldn't see that he was earless. She was like, that's how Jerry curls were invented. It would be shit like that, bro.
Yo, your mom's Black history has got to be the funniest shit in the world.
My mom would she was a young mom, like I said, so she would watch MTV, right? And then I'd be like, Mom, can you read me a story? And she'd pick up a book that, to read, and then she would just point to the words as if it was the lyrics from a song. And they'd be like, watching TV.
And then Michael Jackson read to Billie Jean, and Billie Jean danced on the moon.
It'd be like, Billie Jean is not my lover. Billie Jean says that I am the one. But the kid is
it's not my son.
It's not my son.
Oh, that's wild funny. Shout outs to the young moms just doing their part.
Yeah. She was bored. She was living in the South before it was a huge city. Leaving New York City, she was just like, all right, we gotta make our own fun.
Yeah. That's love. Yeah. That's love. Actually, these last questions, bro, but I appreciate you pulling up, man, for real.
Of course, bro.
Last question.
I'm tired of waiting.
Nah, yeah. I want to have him out there too. We got another person waiting for the show.
Shadow box.
All right, so 2 questions. Okay. One, the way you write your material and all that other stuff, is it always just inspired by the things that frustrate you?
Your inspiration is aggravation.
Yeah.
No. So, all right. So the way my write is like you say, do I just write down stuff that just, yes and no, right? That's a part of it. Those are some things that I do talk about, but also it's I have to remember I have an imagination and I have to use those parts also because I have an imagination. It's I'll trail off and I riff and I create up here a lot. And it's sometimes I'll get in this mode of being oh, let me say this and this and this on stage, right? And I'd be like, nah, man, also give them some of that other stuff. Give them some of that goofy stuff like that, silly shit. And I feel like that's a good, you know what I'm saying? I don't even know if that answers the question.
I just want to compile. I want to compile all the moments of this interview where you say, yo, did that answer that?
Did I answer your question?
But you did, because you essentially said that there's 2 sides, and correct me if I'm wrong here, but this is how I took it in. There's 2 sides to how you create. You, one, go very literal. It's just I think this is funny, blah, 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 blah. But you also had the level of it where you say to yourself, oh, I'm just going to make something up.
Not even making something up, but it's another type of humor where I have to add that into the complaint. The complaint is funny, this complaining about this or having this thing that I saw, I can set it up in a funny way, but then I can also add ridiculousness to it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's just pure
imagination.
Yeah.
Just made it up.
Yeah. It's me being I live in a 6-story walk-up, which just sucks. Even though I live on the 2nd floor.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I complain about living in a building that doesn't have an elevator, but it's also
a made up building.
I don't even live that far up this. I don't even got to use all those steps, but I still hate it. You know what I'm saying? It's
that's hilarious.
You know what I'm saying? The building is real.
Yes.
This building was real.
But you can also make up a building.
Also that, yeah. It could be 4 stories, but it sounds better if you say 6. You know what I'm saying? Stupid shit like that. But I always feel like that part's important.
Yeah. I had an early joke about my friend not having a dad that I completely made up. I thought it was funny as shit on the bus. I said my friend dad left his family after a game of Uno. That was the whole premise of it all. And I was like, how bad was that last game? That was the whole premise. And I was just on the bus and I thought that shit was hysterical. I was like, all right, because I learned that from people like Andre Thompson and a couple other comics that
I just to think I'll be if that was a real story, I'd be like, who won? That's the way my mind went. Who won?
Who won that game?
Because that may be pivotal to why he walked out.
Yeah, he was tired of this.
What type of winner are you? You know what I'm saying?
He was real sensitive.
You just shut. You know what? I'm out.
Yeah, that's what it was. I made him a loser in this scenario. I was I'm tired of losing. I'm sick of Bills games cards. I'm sick of this.
That's worth worth talking about. That's so funny.
Yeah, and it was completely made up.
He left after a Uno.
Yep, left her. And then the punchline was, my friend tried to play a reverse to get his dad back, and that's not how the game works.
That's funny.
Man, one of my favorite
Reverse.
jokes. Yeah.
Well, your dad leaving was an actual wild card.
Yeah. See? It is nonsense, bro. Completely made up. All right, last thing, dog. It's one of my favorite things. I love to ask every episode. This is your camera. Direct camera.
Oh, to look at the camera.
Yep, smoky eye. You got to move your hand so with the edit. Yeah. All right. Last camera. Gem of advice. Anybody watching, whether they're a comic, striving artist, anything, something you can give them as a sense of motivation to push them forward in the future. Young you or someone who inspires or thinks like you. Bam.
Patience is key. Having patience with this, with anything. I feel like everything you do, anything that we do, any profession you have, any hobby, anything, you will get good at it before you get any validation. And I feel like a lot of times we want people to see us, want people to know us. Obviously, we want to, get the fruits of our labor, but patience is important. It's like your story does not line up with everybody else's story all the time. You know what I'm saying? And you think, a lot of times we think like, oh, I should be getting this, I need this, I need this, I need this. And it ain't always wrong, but it's like, use the canvas that's available. Use the rooms that's available. Hit the stages that's available. Like, you will get good at whatever you do way before you get validation, and just kind of have faith that okay, I'm doing this thing and I'm at this level and I'm, you know what I'm saying? I guess that's the only advice. Patience, bro.
Yeah. No, I mean, I was really taking that shit in, bro.
I'm quick in comedy, so it feels stupid. but still, patience is key, bro. I mean, I think that's I don't know, a lot of people give up prematurely. Mm-hmm. Who are super funny, or not even just with comedy, just give up whatever it is prematurely. Like I said, bro, 4 months I was in this city and I was I made a mistake. 2 months later, I got passed at 2 comedy clubs, which, looking back was not the biggest thing in the world.
But at
that time, yeah, bro, I was a 6-month comic who had been in the city for 6 months. Yeah. And I got into 2 clubs that were actually doing well.
Yeah.
So it was but like I said, 2 months before, if I would have listened to that complaint, go home, bro. This was a mistake.
You'd have never seen.
Bro, that would have been such a bail at the finish, at the home stretch.
Yeah. That's
quitting seeing the finish line and then quit.
Yeah, I've been running too long.
Yeah. And you're this is my leg hurt. Yeah. You know it's still gonna hurt, but you can finish. You can get to it. But I would I was easily sitting in that situation of this is trash. It's freezing out here. I'm not getting booked. I don't sound like the way I want to sound on stage. So
patience, man.
Yeah, patience.
But look, bro, thank you, man. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for my boy Napoleon. That's what I call you. I'm not getting the last name.
I hope they're making noise at home. Is that?
It's just my mom. Good job, baby. Good job.
Yes. Noise. They just watching it noise.
Look, I love y'all. I'll see y'all next time. Peace.
Peace.
Yo, thanks, bro. For real.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
No problem. Anytime. Hey guys, thank y'all for watching Behind the Mic Stand. If y'all enjoyed it, as I think you did, because you made it to the end, like, subscribe, make sure you hit that notification button so you hear the subscriptions and shit. You know how it works. Just like it. Stop skipping this part and do it right now. What? Somewhere right here. I think it's right here.